What's your perception of Muirfield?
It is known as the most private of private clubs in the world. Very traditional.
When people think about Muirfield, they think about it being one of the finest on the men's open rota.
This is Muirfield, home of the Honourable Company of Edinburgh Golfers.
These members are the direct golfing descendants of the gentlemen golfers who were playing a few miles down the coast at least in the 15th century.
The Arnold Company were first mooted in 1744. It's the first golf club in the world.
The men of Muirfield, known as the Honourable Company of Edinburgh Golfers, established golf's original rules and hosted the game's first formal competition. They created traditions and policies that would influence the game for centuries.
It's going to be a great tournament, and I think it's prepared for the best man to win.
And he gets a really cordial hand at Muirfield.
One of those policies was the exclusion of women members.
I grew up in a time when there were courses across the UK that women couldn't even drive up the driveway. They'd have to drop their husbands off at the front gate.
Women weren't allowed in certain parts of the clubhouse, weren't allowed to play at certain times of the day.
So a lot of people have felt, cross about how they're treated over the years.
Phil Mickelson with a Sunday to remember.
In 2013, when Mickelson won at Muirfield, that was the story that Muirfield would need to start taking women members if they wanted to go on holding the Open.
It's wrong that the R&A hands the biggest championship in golf to a single-sex club. That's wrong.
The controversy made headlines when Scotland's First Minister at the time, Alex Salmond, boycotted the event entirely.
It started a huge domino effect. As soon as I said I wasn't going, David Cameron, the British Prime Minister, he had to say he wasn't going as well.
Almost 3 years after Mickelson won the 2013 Open at Muirfield, the membership took a vote to determine if the club would remain male only.
Could be an historic day in the game of golf, and it's all centered around Muirfield Golf Club in Scotland.
The 2/3 majority that we require for a change in the rules was not met. The club therefore will retain its men-only membership policy.
It was a sad moment in the game, really. It was a message that they weren't inclusive.
I guess the older we all get in life, the less we maybe like change. Maybe it took a little bit of time for the membership to get comfortable with the idea.
While the world digested the result of the vote, golf's governing body, the R&A, made a swift and powerful decision.
I don't think they thought the club would be thrown from the Open rota, but it happened immediately.
We made our position very clear at that point that we were only going to take our championships to venues where there was a quality of membership.
After hosting the Open 16 times, the Honourable Company found itself at a crossroads. 10 months later, they called another vote. This time, 80% of the membership approved the proposal, enough for it to pass. Barbara Biggott and Lindsay Garden were among the first women to join the club.
I was delighted. I couldn't wait to come and play. I think that was it, and be part of the club. We were all welcomed very much as members. It was nice to be part of this change that's going on in golf.
It's only a gentle breeze into your face. And I was almost pinching myself at going, I've driven in here and I can just go and play it, without relying on somebody else inviting me or taking me in.
It's enhanced the atmosphere in the club. They participate in everything. Not very good. That's going to test you.
That is going to test me.
We don't call them women members. They're fully integrated.
In 2020, the R&A made another announcement. Muirfield would return to hosting major championship golf. For the first time in the club's nearly 300-year history, the tradition of only hosting men professionals would be broken. as the top women in the game were invited to compete for the 2022 AIG Women's Open.
We're finally starting to see kind of the respect that we deserve.
Them pushing and supporting the women's game is the big deal.
To be able to come to Muirfield is one of the moments we've been waiting for. It's pretty surreal.
They are going to play on one of the best golf courses in the world. And they will be met with great friendliness and they'll get a real warm welcome.
They'll be part of history.